Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you, as it always is. I hope you're doing well. Got some more matches over in the Cincinnati Masters that we need to go through today. As always, we will go through each and every one of them, see if there's anything we fancy as we go. Be sure to get your comments in with your predictions. If there's anything I'm going for personally, it'll be in that pinned comment. Feel free to check that out. Do with it what you will. You can take it if you want, you leave it if you must. Do not feel obliged. And before we get into it, like the video if you would be so kind. I'm also going to ask you to get yourself subscribed to the channel, providing you're not already. We do continue to grow each and every day. It'd be an honour to welcome you to the squad. Get yourself involved. Do yourself the favour. And now all that's said and done, how did we manage yesterday? Any winners? Talk to me. How did we get on? Did we win? Did we lose? Did we just come close? No dice for me. Couple overs. It is what it is. Commissania got absolutely pasted by Rublev, and then Bonzi just couldn't keep it as close with Felix as I'd have hoped that he could. But it is what it is. It's alright. We've had a fairly decent week. Certainly no damage done. It's the main thing. But share with the group. Get yourself involved. Don't be shy. And we'll get straight into business, folks. Let's get it on. Very well then. So first off for us today, we've got Jannik Sinner, Felix, Auger, Aliassime. These have played each other twice before, and their head-to-head is 2-0 to Felix Auger Aliassime. No, I am not mistaken, and yes, you did hear me correctly. The first time round, the head-to-head is 2-0 to the Canadian. In this one, they were supposed to play each other last year in Madrid. Sinner had to pull out of that one. The two games that Felix won, close one on the hard court in this very tournament. That's right. And then over in Madrid, 2022. Both of them coming. Safe to say, Felix is yet to experience the full wrath of the world number one. It's got to be Jannik Sinner. It's got to be Jannik Sinner. You can't beat him. Look, it's only Alcaraz that can beat this guy, pretty much. More or less, it's only Alcaraz that's going to do anything. Apart from the occasional outlier. I mean, 29-3 this season for the Italian. What is that? That's ridiculous. I mean, you think that's good. You want to see Alcaraz's record? It's fucking disgusting. Absolutely disgusting how good these two are compared to the rest. You know, the gap from the top two down to even 3 and 4 is astronomical. But yeah, look, Jannik Sinner won this tournament last year. Probably wouldn't even matter if he didn't. I would imagine he's probably going to make it to the final this week. I think it's safe to say. Do we think Felix stands a chance against the current version of Jannik Sinner? I'd like to think he does. I've watched him this week. He was decent against Rune. I'll give him that. Yeah, he was decent against Echeverry. First time out, I forgot about that one. Equally as good against Artur Rinderknech, although the Frenchman did have to pull out of that one. And then the game against Benjamin Bonzi last night. I had a little go on the over. Like I say, Bonzi's been doing bits for me all week. Went back to the well. He had nothing for Felix. He had nothing for Felix Auger Aliassime. I think the serve's been on point for the Canadian. The forehand has been very potent indeed. He looked very aggressive against Benjamin Bonzi last night. Looked very, very good indeed. Very strong. Looks like he'd be tough to beat. I was sitting there watching it, and better side. I was like, this is very impressive. I like what I'm seeing from Felix today. Is he going to be able to turn up and replicate such a performance against the calibre of opponent in Jannik Sinner? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, he had to beat Echeverry. Kind of had to beat Rinderknech, although we were more than aware there could have been a couple of banana peels along the track, but he managed to get that one done anyway. Even if Rinderknech didn't pull out, I'm quite certain he would have got that one done. The game against Benjamin Bonzi, you can say what you want, you can look at it on paper and go, oh, it's Benjamin Bonzi. I've seen a few people going, oh, Bonzi this, Bonzi that. Bonzi's been good this week. Bonzi's been good this week. He's been a lot better, just as good as the rest of them, But like I said, he had no answer for the game of Felix today. I don't think it's going to matter. I just don't think any of this is going to be relevant come tonight. I really don't. We're getting Felix around 6-1 as a dog. I mean, the price is there. The price might be right, but that's no basis on which to make your decision, is it? I like the price, so I'm just going to bet that because of the price. I don't do that personally, although in a case like this, I always say if you're seeking the value and the value alone, the rule applies. Paulie Sports rule applies to this. You're going to have to look at Felix one way or another. Maybe on the spread, you get a big spread for Felix. I imagine it'll be around 4.5. If you can get 5.5 for Felix Auger-Aliassime coming up against the world number one or not, can't help but feel like that's probably a little bit disrespectful. At this stage, the quarterfinals in the Masters, giving anyone 4.5, 5.5 games, I feel like you've just got to take that. You've just got to take that. There's no way you're taking the 1.12 with Jannik Sinner. I am expecting him to win. I'm expecting him to get this one done. He fucking devoured Daniel Galán. Pretty much, I thought it was going to be the same against Gabe Diallo. Very easy first set, a lot closer in the second. I think that one went to the tiebreak, did it? Yeah, it did. That's right, 6-2 in a tiebreak. And then the game against Mannarino, yet another tiebreak, and that's 6-4 in the first, tiebreak in the third. If Mannarino can cover a 3.5 against Jannik Sinner, I'd be willing to roll a dice and save Felix. Playing the way he's played this week stands more than a chance at covering a 4.5, definitely a 5.5. But I don't know. Seems to be the case with Felix. Just when I feel like I'm fully there with him, he turns up and he proves to us all why we can never really trust him, especially not in a spot like this. I would love to take that big spread with the Canadians today. I'd love to just lean towards an over. I'd like to think Felix can turn up and keep this one relatively close. Mannarino did it. Gabe Diallo would have covered the 5.5. That's if you can get 5 for Felix. Let's just call it 4. I think it's doable. It's very doable. I say if Mannarino can cover 3, I think Felix can cover 4. Not 100% sure. Don't know if that's something I fancy doing business with today, but it is just food for thought. As always, please do let me know what you fancy on that one. And who have we got next? We only got the 3 today, haven't we? I'm just double checking. It is just the 3 today. We've got Rublev and Alcaraz tomorrow because because the Shelton game's still part of the round of 16? I'm not too sure, but it's neither here nor there. We've got good old Shelly, and Yuri Lehecka. Kinda gotta go with Shelly, haven't you? I'm extremely hesitant to do so. I feel like we're at that point now. We've noticed it, especially last night. The people who have been on an absolute tear for the past week or two. The time is up, innit? The time is up. The time is now, as the song goes. Look, the way Ben Shelton's playing though, even though Kachanov just ran out of gas, he had to pull out. Taylor Fritz, say what you want, maybe he ran out of gas against Terence Atmane. A few of them have been falling. And it's no surprise they played a lot of tennis. Ben Shelton does fit that category amongst those top players that have operated at a very high level for quite some time now since we've come back. I say since we've come back to the hard court, but he's been playing good since the grass, Would you be surprised if today was the day? Probably not. He had a close one against Batista Agut. Tie break in the first and then 6-3 in the second. I think he might be fine. I think he might be fine if anything just for this one more. He's more than acclimated to the conditions and to the surface over here in the States. I feel like if anyone's going to have an extra pep in the step, have a bit of extra juice to get this done in that US heat, I think it's going to be Shelley. I could be wrong, but if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him. And not only that, look, the way this lad's playing at the moment, I could be wrong, but it's kind of looking like only Alcaraz or Jannik Sinner is going to stop him at the moment. I don't know who else. Is going to stop him. I don't know where Jack the Ripper is. Maybe he'd stop him, but as of right now, I think it's only Alcaraz and Sinner. Look what he done to Kachanov. Look what he done to Fritz. They were probably the only other two that you'd say were in this kind of form since we've come back. He took out Demonor, took out Taylor Fritz, took out Karen Kachanov. The only one left you'd say would probably be like Zverev, maybe. I don't know. I think the Kachanov and the Fritz win over in Toronto is probably just as impressive, if not more than impressive than a win against Zverev would be at the moment. That's just my opinion. But I do apologise if we're dragging these on as well. I have just finished night shifts. I haven't been to bed yet, so I've literally just come home and thought I'd just do this. So you will just have to bear with me. Only a short one for tonight. It won't take that much of your time. But we've all been impressed with Shelley. You know we have. We've all been more than impressed with this guy. And I've been saying it for fucking matches now, haven't I? For like the past 3 or 4 games. I don't know what you've got to do to beat him. I don't know what you've got to do to beat him. He's too strong. He's too solid. He's not the most, he's not the most versatile player. Although he he continues to add to his game. He's only a young lad. But what he does exceedingly well. That save is money. Forehand's money. The power is money. Especially, given the conditions over here in the Masters. These quick courts. It's tailor-made for him. It is tailor-made for Ben Shelton to go on another run in this one. Lehecka, I do think providing Lehecka, you know me, I'm a massive Lehecka fan as well. A massive Lehecka fan. The Paulie Sports of months or even seasons gone by probably would have seen the price with Lehecka and went, you know what, I think he's better. And I suppose to some extent I still believe Lehecka is a better player overall than Ben Shelton. I think he's more versatile. He's probably got a few more shots in the locker on the day. But he ain't been playing as good, and he ain't been nowhere near as consistent. And I suppose the one thing we know for certain, it doesn't really matter, does it? How versatile, how flashy you are. I may have this shot, I can do this, I can do everything. You name it, I can do everything. Can you do it all well? You don't even need to do it all well. You just need to pick a few things that you can focus on. I feel like what Ben Shelton's done here has managed to narrow it down and simplify it to a couple of fundamentals that he does better than the majority. You can't do anything against the save, and even if you do manage to return it, 9 times out of 10 you're giving him an absolute float that he can just run onto and just fucking blast the other side past you. He's tough to break. And when you're playing someone like Ben Shelton, you're probably not going to break him. Or it's probably going to take 10 times more to break Ben Shelton's save than what it would, let's say, pretty much most of them on the tour. I'm looking at Lehecka's recent results here. Although he's won, we knew he'd get past Adam Walton. I mean, you could barely separate the two of them there. Now, I do think Adam Walton's come on a lot, since over the last season or so. So maybe got to give the kid some credit there. But 2 tiebreakers on the hard court against Lehecka, I expected a little bit more. And then, look, I mean, he kind of barely got past Tristan Boyer as well. Dropped that first set, 6-4, come back 6-1, 6-4 in the second and third. Had a decent match against Taylor Fritz in Toronto in the round of 16. But if I'm looking at since we've come back to the hard court, we know how good Lehecka was earlier on in the season. Fantastic, one of the best, no doubt about it, that's a fact. Since we've come back to the hard court, Zachary Zvada in 3 sets. Scruffy game, a proper scrappy game, that one as well. I most definitely expected that one to be a bit more convincing than what it was, but a win's a win. But getting dragged around by Zachary Zvada in Washington wasn't exactly the greatest thing to watch. But then he had a decent match against the Demon, ended up losing that one. No shame in that. Mackenzie McDonald in straight sets. Artifice in 3. Now that's a decent win too. Artifice has just come off a massive layoff as well, so it's like how much weight that win currently holds at the moment, I'm not too sure. Certainly not as much weight as what it would have done, let's say, last season or even the start of this year. Like I said, good game against Taylor Fritz. Not going to win that one, didn't expect him to. It was a tight one. 3 tiebreakers. He's serving well. He's serving very, very well. But Ben Shelton serves so well as well. Is this just going to be a serve out? I'm not going to use the word save bot because I don't really like that word. Like these, especially if anyone's going to save bot anyone, it'll be Ben Shelton just smoking them out with that big save. But Ben Shelton is anything but a save bot. He's got a bit more about his game than just a save bot. Don't disrespect him like that. I would have to assume he gets past Lehecka. I would have to assume. The way Lehecka's been saving and playing the past week or two, I imagine it's going to be a close one. But you probably don't need me to tell you that because we're dealing with Ben Shelton and we always get these really big totals. They played each other once before. That was in Stuttgart earlier on in the season on the grass. Straight sets, 6-4, 6-4 to the American. I would have to assume he gets this one done. If this is the match where Shelton turns up and he's struggling against Lehecka and he can, I'm not going to use the word quit, but he ain't got too much left to give. If today's the day, then so be it. That's fine. We're kind of expecting it. We're kind of waiting for it, aren't we? We're kind of waiting for it. But I still would have to go to Shelton. Unless anyone can prove otherwise to me that he's a massive no-go today. I don't think I'll be touching him. Lehecka's not a bad shout for a dog, but it is quite close, 2.2. Getting Ben Shelton around 1.7. At that price, either one for a set is an ideal parlay piece. We probably are in for another long one. Both of them will stand behind the save. Don't know what the total's going to be. It's going to be a high one. No doubt about that. Probably goes over. I think Lehecka may just be in a slightly better shape coming into this one. A bit finer fettle indeed. Right then, let's wrap this shit up, shall we? One more. Got Atmane, Rune. I'm looking forward to this one the most. I think I'm most excited about this one out of the three that we've got in store for us today. I don't know why. I think it might have something to do with the unknown of Atmane, the mystique of the Frenchman, if you will. How good's he been? How good has Atmane been this week, man? Unbelievable. He's playing as good as pretty much anyone we've seen. You know, the form he's in at the moment, scary, man. Very, very scary indeed. This is the last guy you want to be playing over in Cincinnati. It's mad to say, but it's true. Come through qualifying, took out Nishioka in straight sets. Very impressive performance against Flavio Cobolli. That was the moment for me where I kind of thought, okay, this could be something. This could snowball into something huge. Comes up as a massive dog against Joao Fonseca, and we all identified that perfectly, didn't we? Shout out to all you that managed to call that one along with me. I mean, Fonseca 1.2 was disgusting. Still thinking about that, absolutely disgusting that was. Atmane turned up and made him look like a child. And you thought he would have learned the lesson, but he didn't. I mean, I didn't expect him to get past Taylor Fritz. I didn't. But he did. And he dropped the first set and he managed to come back and take out the American number one. Taylor Fritz as well, out of everyone. I mean, one of the best players on the tour at the moment in the form of his life. I imagine there'll be people, I kind of said it myself, didn't I? You know, it'd be kind of hypocritical to say, oh, we should have won. Taylor Fritz, I mean, I've been waiting for Taylor Fritz to kind of, I'm not going to say drop off, like to the level hasn't dropped off, but he's blown out of his ass, surely. I mean, how much tennis has this lad played? Not even how much tennis, it's the level. It's the level of tennis that this lad has maintained for the past couple months now. US Open's just round the corner. So there's a couple of factors that come into play with that one. That you could make a couple of excuses for Taylor Fritz. I get that. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, haha, you got beat by Atmane, because it's, you know, it is what it is. Can't take anything away from the Frenchman though. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. Deserved to win, and you can't say he does not deserve to be in the quarters. Coming up against Rune. Getting Rune around 1.25, 1.3. Did they not learn? You'd think they would have learned from the Taylor Fritz matchup. You think they would have learned from the Fonseca one. You think they would have learned from the Flavio Cobolli one. You cannot give us this price with Atmane. The way he's playing over in Cincinnati. Because the way it's going for him, I would not put it past him to come up and beat Rune today. No. Nothing to lose, playing what seems to be on pure vibes. I'm loving it. Loving everything about it. Can't wait to watch this one. Rune has looked solid as anything, really. Tough as it comes. Roman Safiullin, Alex Michelsen, light work for him in the end. Didn't really give him much trouble. And then the game against Big Foe. What happened to Big Foe? Had to pull out, didn't he? Big Foe had to pull out like a big tart. Just couldn't play. Madness. I'm not joking to say a big tart, but I thought Big Foe would have had the minerals to see that one out in front of his home crowd, but apparently not. Is this just going to be what we've seen in the last round? Like Komisania, he was playing good until he ran into Rublev, the shaky, inconsistent Rublev, and Rublev just smoked him. Bonzi's been unbelievable until he ran into Felix, the shaky, inconsistent Felix, and Felix just beasted him. Is Atmane gonna run into Rune, the shaky, inconsistent Rune, and he's just gonna get walked? It's very possible. It's very possible. I'm so shocked he's still here. I can't believe he beat Taylor Fritz. That's really threw the spanner in the works for me. Mm, I don't know, because if you can beat Taylor Fritz, especially this version of Taylor Fritz, okay, he may be a bit fucking gas, but you should be able to beat Holger Rune. I do think Holger Rune will be in slightly better shape than what Taylor Fritz is in. You know, he'll have a bit more about his game. He'll definitely navigate the court a lot better. He'll be much more to deal with in that regard. But I think if you've managed to deal with the game of Flavio Cabali, you've managed to deal with the toughness of Taylor Fritz. I feel like if you Frankenstein them together, you should be able to deal with the game of Holger Rune. It's kind of going out there. I know it's kind of a stretch, kind of reaching on that one, but you know what Luther Vandross says, folks? Give me a reason. Give me a reason to go against Terence Atmane today. Just give me a reason. I would love to take him on a spread. Maybe lean towards an over again. There's nothing to suggest he's going to slow down. And if this is the matchup where he turns up and Holger Rune's just going to outclass him and outgun him, then so be it. So be it. You know, que sera, sera. But you'd have to go with Terence Atmane one way or another. I'd probably have a look at Terence Atmane on the spread. Bite the bullet on that one. Lean towards a little over. With Holger Rune being such a big favourite, you should be able to get a nice lowish total indeed. Well, that's going to do us, folks, because I need to go to bed and get some sleep because I'm starting to enter the fucking future. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But I appreciate you stopping by. As always, I appreciate you watching. You mean a lot to me. Very grateful for each and every one of my subscribers. You know that. Believe that. But I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you around. You take it easy. You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. It's the most important thing. Like and subscribe before you go as well. Very well. Very well. Best bets, all that stuff in the comments, folks. Business as usual. You know what to do by now, or you should do anyway. And I'll see you around, innit? See you around. I apologise if it's dragged on a little bit. Like I say, post night shift Paulie Sports. It's not ideal, but these American tournaments, man. What do you want me to do? I mean, I'm essentially living in the future compared to you guys, aren't I? So it's like I've either got to do them first thing in the morning or wait till like 4 a.m. until the order of play comes out. So I've opted for the mornings, at least for the next couple of days. I do have the entire 2 weeks off for the US Open, so we'll be able to smash the fuck out of that. Can't wait. It's going to be good. But let's get through this Masters first, innit? Sad. Best of luck today. Enjoy the matches. And I'll see you all tomorrow.